The state of California now set for a recall. Yes, we got word that the California Secretary of State announced the effort to recall Governor Gavin Newsom surpassed the number of verified signatures needed to reach the ballot. The latest unofficial count had more than 1.7 million Californians signing on. A recall election seems likely. Newsom would be now the only the second governor in that state's history to face such an election.
And joining us now is one of the candidates hoping to unseat Governor Newsom, former mayor of San Diego, Republican Kevin Faulconer. Welcome to GMA 3. Thank you for being with us. And first of all, just tell us why you believe Governor Newsom should in fact be recalled and why you believe you're the person to take his job.
Thanks for having me. And I'll tell you, you hit the nail on the head with over 2 million Californians that signed the recall because of the anger and frustration of not just the response to the pandemic here in California, the fact that our economy was open and shut 4 and 5 different times, unfortunately not based on science. But I think it gets to a lot of the key issues that unfortunately we're seeing our great state on the wrong track. Rising crime, homelessness exploding by double digits. The fact that our kids are still not in school. Our public schools in California are still not open full time. And so I'm looking forward to bring that change at the top. I was elected mayor twice in San Diego, a Republican in a majority Democrat city. Why? Because I know how to bring people together and get results. That's what California needs right now.
Why are people leaving the state right now, would you say, Mr. Mayor? For the first time in recorded history that a year just went by that you had people that it was not an increase in the population of California. Some 182,000 people got out of there. Why? And what's it's going to take to bring them back?
They are, TJ, and I'll tell you directly, it's because our state's not affordable. It's too expensive to live in California. And people are voting with their feet. And you're right. I mean, for the first time, not only did it go down, but we lost a congressional seat. And TJ, I'll tell you, you name the state where folks are going, whether it's Texas, Florida, Utah, Wyoming, Tennessee, there's a long list. We have to get our state more affordable. It's time for genuine tax relief in California, which is something I'll be talking a lot about in the coming days ahead.
Well, speaking of taxes and expenses, the California Association of Clerks and Elections Officials have estimated that a recall election could cost your state as much as $400 million. So how do you justify spending that kind of money, that kind of taxpayer money?
Amy, I'll tell you, because of the urgency of a change that we need now in California. And you contrast that number with $30 billion that went out in fraud this year alone in California. $30 billion fraudulently that went out, many folks and prisoners and others. That's the type of incompetence and ineptitude the Californians have had it with. And so that's why, as I've said, you've seen so many Californians sign that recall petition. And by the way, it's Democrats, it's independents, and Republicans who want a change at the top and want to get our state actually back and functioning again. And I'll say it again because it's such a hot issue out here in California. We need to get our public schools fully reopened. And I say that not just as a candidate for governor, but as a dad with 2 kids in public school who realize they need to be in school, in the classroom, full time.
Now, Governor Newsom does want kids back in the fall. He says the majority of schools there do offer at least in-person learning, even if they're not taking the option. Also, the state's positivity rate is one of the lowest you've seen in the pandemic. Also, there's a $76 billion surplus. Now, I understand some of his politics. You might not agree with some of the policies, but isn't California, like a lot of places, starting to come out of this thing and starting to figure it out? And what do you give Governor Newsom credit for in getting the state through it?
Well, I will tell you, TJ, what I think Californians want is they want a steady hand actually on the ship, which we haven't had. We've had so many changes up and down, changing metrics in California, a color-coded system, a different tier system, open and closed. And I've said, pretty outspokenly, we have to save lives, but we also have to save livelihoods. And I think that's been the missing ingredient and quotient out here in California. And again, when we talk about affordability, when we talk about quality of life, the fact that homelessness, which is really one of the #1 issues in California, is exploding by double digits in virtually every city. And yet in San Diego, we were able to take the firm yet compassionate action to get folks off the street. We reduced homelessness by double digits. That's the type of leadership that I'm talking about. By the way, this is not partisanship. This is about leadership. And I think that's why Californians are so hungry to end one-party rule that we've had in our state for a decade. It's time for a competition of ideas. It's time to have somebody who can come in, who can work with Democrats, independents, and Republicans and say, not only are we going to get you back to work, but we're going to help clean up California and really lead a comeback.
Candidate for governor of California, Kevin Faulconer, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Amy, thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.